Hello crowdfunders, it's Mattia here for a new crowdfunding coaching video. Today we are with Kristopher from Astronic Watches, a client of mine who managed to raise almost $100,000 on Kickstarter for his watch brand. Kristopher is a very experienced watch designer with more than 20 years of experience in this field, and he's gonna share a little bit more of his crowdfunding journey. So, with a big pleasure, we are welcoming to Kris. Hey man, ciao, how you doing?
Hey, hi guys, how are you doing?
So it's a pleasure having you today with me discussing about your project. As you already know, I'm a fan of your brand. I'm a fan of what you have built. So can you tell us
Sure.
a little bit more of your product, of your project, and then we are gonna later on discuss about your crowdfunding journey.
Sure. Hi guys. My name is Kristopher. I'm based in Hong Kong, and I've been in the watch business since 20 years. And like Mattia introduced me, and I started in the engineering of the movement company from Switzerland, and I worked there for a very long time. That I have learned a lot of fundamental watch knowledge, starting from the movement. And as time goes on, you want to experience something differently. So I start up my company to develop what I want to do and in the watch business. I have the idea to create a tourbillon watch since quite a few years, and but I didn't have the platform, the time, or the idea of what to do. So it was the idea in my mind for a few years until the right timing, and so I started Astronic Watches. And before that, I've been designing watches and producing watches for different brands in the market, and that gave me a lot of opportunity to work with different parties in the watch industry and see how they work. And but to build a new brand, it requires a lot of a huge capital actually, and in marketing or building the company. So I start looking into crowdfunding project. But to me, in my generation, crowdfunding, social media is quite new to my
You
time.
didn't have
So
so much experience in all of this, I would say, right?
no, well, I don't really go for social media too much.
Hmm. I see. I
In my
see.
generations,
Hmm.
it's more like we write emails, but now it's very
Yeah.
different. Email is sort of like a dinosaur or something. So we do a lot of I did a lot of adjustment of my mindset before
Hmm.
we talk about product or anything to understand what is crowdfunding. And but for me, I'm a product person myself. So I still started with the product to think about what to do. So
Hmm.
as I mentioned earlier, I want to do a tourbillon watch because I think a tourbillon is the most complicated module in the movement industry. Um,
Hmm.
and I want to do something with the most challenging. And I have totally perfect setup because I'm from the movement industry and I work
Hmm.
on a design company. I have my own design, so that's how I started this project. Is to think about, oh, okay, we'll make a tourbillon watch, but then I do a research about what kind of design elements I want to put in, what kind of design
Hmm.
languages, and I just find out there are a lot of tourbillon watches in the market already, especially in Kickstarter or Indiegogo. So I did some research and I found out, oh, cool. Well, my company called Astronic. Astron is about the stars. Nick is about technology. So I say, let's do something related to aviation. Then I started thinking about the concept, and
Hmm.
and then it brings me to my all-time favorite, the Nighthawk, the stealth aircraft. So
Hmm. Are you
um,
passionate about aviation too, Kris?
yeah, I love it. I mean, but for I don't have a plane. I'm not a pilot, and but I watch a lot of movies, Star Trek,
I
Star Wars,
see.
and you see Star Wars elements in my watch. It's the power reserve. I mean, this is the Stargate. But anyhow, so yeah, the ideas. Then I start to work on the design. It took me 1 year, more than 1 year, to complete the design to my satisfaction, and then another 1 year to find somebody to make it, because it's quite complicated. And
Hmm.
so took like 2 years to develop it. And then I thought, okay, let's go to Kickstarter or Indiegogo. And then I
Hmm.
found out that's the beginning of the beginning. So
Yeah,
that's the beginning
we
of
are
the beginning.
we are gonna talk about this as well.
Yeah. So
Right now, at what stage your crowdfunding is? Just to give a better idea to the people who are gonna watch us, like at what stage your crowdfunding is right now?
we just delivered everything
Mm-hmm.
to the backer, and they're receiving it. Some of them is still waiting it and waiting for their parcel. So everything left Hong Kong already. So we did what we promised. I think it's important that we said we ship in a month, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I kept my promise, and we did ship in a month. So now is receiving a lot of open box review, comments, suggestions after they receive the actual product, and it's been very busy to communicate with them. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I really love to hear from them, and I hope they say
Yeah,
something, good or bad. It will be very interesting to
yeah,
hear
it's
how they
great
think.
like to get the feedback from the backers after years of development, right? Like
Hmm.
finally the people are touching your products, right?
Yeah.
So is it great like getting like these feedbacks, see the people engaging with your product, like touching and thanking you about that?
It's a joy that you cannot measure by money. I mean,
Yeah,
you've been communicating with them, you've been promising, and you have delay, and then they still be with you. They put down their investment and back you up. So, and you do your best to send them the product, and when the minute they say, okay, I love it. So this is a really a commitment, that I
yeah.
delivered, and the most of all is this, that they think they spend the monthly worthily, and this is very good. Yeah, because
Yeah, it's
when you
it's a
just start,
grateful kind of feeling, I would say. It's pretty like satisfying. And yeah, that guys is very very important. So Christopher, after 1 month of the end, like of the campaign ends, he started shipping out the products, the watches, and this is so important when you are doing a crowdfunding campaign. Respect the promises that you gave to your backers, because that is the only way to build a solid brand in the future. Because you can even like collect thousands, millions of dollars during the crowdfunding campaign, but then if you fail to actually ship out the products or to deliver what you promised to your backers, that is not gonna allow you to build a solid brand in the market. Okay, even if we are starting with the small steps, but the people are satisfied, you can actually be credible to the people eyes. That is gonna consent you to uh, build a solid brand in the market, which is gonna consent you to scale up, and that is so important. So congratulations, Kris, really,
thank
for
you.
what you have done so far.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to ask you, like, why did you choose a Kickstarter for launching your project instead of any other ways for launching your watch?
Well, the first thing about crowdfunding is I get in my mind was I heard from my customers, my colleague, it was Kickstarter. So, and then after, I don't know, 2 years later, I heard about Indiegogo, but it's maybe the first, the conception is, oh, let's go for Kickstarter, because they were the initial one. I think they're the initial one.
Mm-hmm.
And after I learned out more. I found out the funding goal system are quite different, and one is you have to be fully funded. Another one is you can be partial, so different. And what I choose Kickstarter is, I think, is, to me, it's just my feeling is more the original one, and
Mm-hmm.
Indiegogo is more a lot of different things, more electronic product, I might say.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, doesn't mean watch is not working there, but then I want to start with Kickstarter for the more original platform to build it, and after Kickstarter, now I'm on Indiegogo in demand as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it really depends on the founders' decision about which is what they wanted to start.
Yeah, so in fact, what I always tell to my clients is that these two platforms are still like pretty valid, both. But I would say that some projects tend to work better in ones rather than another one. It depends on which kind of project, in which kind of categories they are. Like as you anticipated, like Indiegogo is more like for electronics, I would say robotics kind of products. Instead, like a Kickstarter is even like wider for like a design kind of project. So definitely in your case, like a Kickstarter was like the guy to work with. But for example, if your project was like an electronic, like an e-bike, for example, I would have suggested you to launch on Indiegogo, because the community there is more responsive to that kind of products.
Yeah.
Okay, so in your whole crowdfunding journey right now, right? Because you like done everything from the actual pre-launch to the launch of your crowdfunding campaign, and to also to the post-campaign management, because you shipped out your product to the people. What did you struggle most with during the whole journey? I know this is like a $1 million question, because everything is so stressful. I know, but I wanna give a better kind of idea to the people who are gonna listen us.
I think it's the time management. I mean, how you manage the campaign time against your expectation, against your cash management. I think your funding, your capital. I mean, I think sometimes you expect to do it really fast, but at the end it turns out it needs time to grow the community, and maybe you voice out too early, and then they find out you need another 1 year to build a community, or 6 months, and then but you already announced it. So sort of like, these are the problem I faced it. As this is my first campaign, is like I thought everything would be done in 2 months. It's like I think you go to Google and you search how to do it, and you thought it's quite easy. You post it and people buy it, but it is definitely not. Is not that case. So these are the things. Is my knowledge is not this the problem. I didn't know how the cycle is gonna be for crowdfunding. And instead of like very simple, I make a product, I post it, I sell it. But that was the conceptual problem I ran into it, and then become a time management problem, because it took me I think I delayed it like 4 times, during the pre-launch phase, and it gave me some I think problem on the campaign, towards the backers' confidence in that sense. Yeah. All right. So these are the things I would say: time management and expectation. Your expectation. Yeah, I think these are the things that I would like to share.
You had to postpone your your lunch, I would say, multiple times during the pre-launch, and that was something that, in your opinion, like hurted the credibility, or at least like I would say, yeah, in a certain way influenced like the credibility towards your community. This is what you said, right?
Yeah, and when you take too long, it's hard to keep it hot, to keep it warm for your audience. People I get people come back. Oh, hey, Kris, it's you again. You've been saying that for another 6 months. Are you really coming, to real life product? So these are the things I would suggest to avoid, or to have a better planning. Since the beginning, about when to say what, and also when to invest your tooling and the things, because you need to pay your supplier. So if you invest too early, you have to pay before you get the money.
I see. Yes, that is what Kristopher is sharing here is very, very important. So what he said is, I thought as well that 2 months, 2 months preparation was enough to launching my project and getting that up running, but it wasn't. Okay, so that is very important if you want to launch a successful crowdfunding campaign, which is not only launching a successful Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign, but is launching a total brand new brand in the market, this is what you're doing, right? So
Yeah.
Kristopher brand didn't exist. Okay, obviously existed like for him, for his relatives, but in the market it didn't have a spot yet. So what you are doing is creating your own market share, is creating your own place positionment in the market, and this is very important. It took what I would say it took what it take what it takes, but it's one of the, I would say, best way to positioning your brand in the market. Okay. Anyway, so at this point, what was your knowledge about crowdfunding when you decided to launch, Kristopher?
It was below nothing. It was almost below nothing. Yeah. Well, I did look at it, and it's like what I just said. I thought it was just like you make a design, you post online, you write a few things, you post on Facebook, and then a little advertising, and then people would just come buy it. That's what I thought. And yeah, but then it wasn't. So yeah, I have no knowledge of pre-launching, no idea about what's pre-launching, no idea what is community. I thought it was just like you're posting something on eBay. Yeah,
Well,
that's
in
what
fact,
my role.
please tell us a little bit more of your pre-launch phase. Like, how much was important in your experience, and how that went.
I think it was important, very important. If we didn't manage the pre-launch phase correctly, I think my campaign cannot be that successful, because those people who spend the investment for a Tourbillon watch for brand new brands for the first campaign, is they must be very bold, because it's like it could be a scam, a scam or anything.
Can you remind to the people? Can you remind to the people how much your watches cost?
Well, the basic the Tourbillon start from 1,800 to US dollar to 2,000 US dollar each. For the automatic one is the start from 500 to 700 US dollar, and so for I would say for a Tourbillon watch is very value. It's really good price, I would say. But for a new brand and people never heard about you, that could be not easy for them to design to buy your watch. Even they like the design, they probably wait. So the pre-launch is like I have to spend time with the guys or the backers or the pre-launch members for 6 months. So they know me, every month, every week I send something. They know me in person. So some of them, like, they don't believe me because and they okay, if they don't believe, we try to convince them, but if they can do what they want. But some other guys, they start to we understand. They saw my offers, they saw my setup, my tools, my watch, and they see day by day, week by week, start from a case, then become a watch, and then it become a collection, become prototype. So it's something progressing. I mean, you have to go with them to keep them know what you're doing, so they won't think they make a wrong decision. Yeah,
so in your case, it was like very important executing a proper pre-launch phase for warming up and creating your community that then supported you during the actual crowdfunding campaign, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that is very important.
I see. And yeah, guys, something up that I want to add to this is that, especially for products, I would say high-end products like Kristopher ones, it's very important, like creating your own community and making them warm, because the actual backing process is not gonna be that automatic or like that. I would say, how can I say, like motion feeling, okay, to buy like a $2,000 or like $1,000 on Kickstarter. So the only way to make them actually then back you then is to properly become credible to their eyes, and to make them like confident in what you're doing, and that is something that you can only do with a proper pre-launch phase. There is it's something not skippable in this case, definitely.
Yep.
So in all these steps, like how much was like important for you having like I would say an expert following during all these processes and coaching you in all these steps. In this case, like it was me actually that we start working through the actual, like from the actual pre-launch until the post campaign, I would say. In your case, like how much was valuable that kind of guidance?
I think it's very important for in my case. I think it's very important because basically I don't know anything about how it runs. I try to do it with my in-house staff, but it's a different experience, I would say. And so we, I would say waste, but we spend a lot of time for circling around for 6 months to study what to do by ourselves, reading books or go on internet to do research. But those are not really practical, and those are not really focusing on your current problem you're facing about, okay, which button I should push, what should I do, what should I say. Those are not even, so you need somebody who is able to explain you what to do and why you have to do it. I think that is really appreciated that we have a chance to work together. That really helped me out a lot. Otherwise, I'll maybe still circling around. Maybe I still haven't launched the campaign. I don't know, in this sense. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, Kris, that you actually trying to like that you started this matter on your own, like before the actual before we started working together. So actually, you started that on your own before you approached me actually, right? Oh,
Well,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
When I just started, I didn't even know what is how to approach people, on this kind of internet thing. So I was doing the old school. I post an ad in Hong Kong, and I say I need somebody to help me to do this, and then the guy interview, he says something, and I, okay, fine, you look good, and I give them a job. But it's not really popular in my country or my city for doing this. Maybe today, yes, but in back to 2 years ago, not many people are experienced in crowdfunding in Hong Kong. So we spend time, we study, but I just feel like something's wrong. I mean, after 6 months, and seems like we just make a e-shop, we just make a website, and then what to do next, and then I decided to seek out help from overseas or okay, anyone that had professional experience on crowdfunding. So I took the decision to say, okay, instead of I try to do everything in-house in my company, maybe we should talk to some consultants.
I see. I'm pleased that at the end you decided to work together because it was such an honor for me, like working with you, man. When I can work with the expert kind of people, designer, creatives, funders like you, it's such like an honor for me. Like I'm also a fan of your brand. In fact, I also got like my Astronic watches that I have here. So guys,
lovely.
if you want to get more information about it, make sure to check out Kristopher Indiegogo in Demand campaign, where you can still getting like these watches for I would say a good price before he's gonna all the pre-orders are gonna be sold out. And yeah, so it was like a very pleasure for me, like working together on this. So what would you have done differently, like in your crowdfunding journey, if you would start it again with that?
I would say I will definitely start to contact you a little bit earlier before I start the campaign, before I start the idea. I would say, so this is a product plus a crowdfunding strategy. There's two things now. I was too focusing on product. I think most of the designer or founders are really into the product because this is their expertise. But I would say, talk to crowdfunding consultant or you do your research before everything. I mean, you have to know how this game is doing, how it's played, when you get your money. So you should know this before you start and rule out the plan, and then to understand when doing what and how to manage your budget. I think it's very important, yeah, because I also overspent for some advertising that I did, and which also give me hard time because we are all startup company and we have limited funds, mostly
Budget,
from saving, from your own money. If you have an investor, you probably don't go to crowdfunding. You already have a private funding, so you might do different things. So, but for people like us, we go crowdfunding is we have very limited budget. So these are the things I would do better if I can start over again.
Budget management and I would say guidance hard before, like earlier, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. Some advices that you wanna share with I would say young funders or like in general funders that are approaching right now in launching their brands in crowdfunding?
I would say find someone to talk to, find someone who knows the business to talk to. This is very important. It might cost you some budget on it, but I think this will save your money in the future because you don't have to do the things twice. Yeah. So this is what I suggest, like to plan well before you start, and so this is the thing I would say. Yeah.
Interesting. Thanks so much, man. I think that all the listeners and the users that are gonna watch this interview are gonna be very, very grateful for all the advices that you shared with us today. But please tell us a little bit more of your future plans, man. Like, what are you working on? On what are you gonna launch maybe in the futures? Like, what are your future plans for Astronic Watches?
I'm on Indiegogo in demand now. I was a little bit behind on the promotion of that, which I will pick it up because my first priority is not to keep selling and not to take care of the customer service and delivery. So I transferred the project from from Kickstarter to Indiegogo in demand, right after it's finished. And so, but my company is not really big, so I don't have a lot of people to work on it. So we are focusing on the delivery. So all the resources of the last, I would say, 45 days was about delivery, packing, delivery, logistic, quality checking. So now this is completed. So now the next stage is how to further promote on Indiegogo. So I think we had some calls about how to do, and I start to already send my first newsletter, and with a lot of helpful review. That is very helpful, and then I will do some advertising, and so these are the things I will do in this stage, and then next stage probably we will go for maybe a Japan crowdfunding that we just mentioned. Project. During the campaign, I received a lot of contacts from Japan asking for collaboration, but I was telling them, let me finish the first step, and then we will discuss later. So I think now is the time to start this discussion in Japan market. I think it's a very interesting market, and if they after they review your crowdfunding page in Kickstarter, if they think it's interesting, they will talk to you. Yeah. Otherwise, you can contact them.
Definitely.
But they are very aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah. And like as I mentioned you, and also maybe for the people who don't know that, like I released like a video interview with the Rumio Sato, like the previous week, about his experience in one of these I would say Japanese platforms. So it's really interesting, and I think for all the Western and even like Hong Kong or like other kind of businesses evaluate like launching on that kind of platform, because Japan tends to be like a pretty interesting kind of market for all new technologies, all new products. They are very early adopters kind of people. So it's definitely something to take in consideration.
Yeah.
Okay, Kristopher. Thanks so much, man, for this conversation. I'm really grateful for you for that, and it was a really pleasure working together and assist you like with your project. And thanks so much for all the precious advices that you shared with us today. And if you have anything you want to add, please do it. Otherwise, thanks so much, and well, please keep us updated on what's going next with the Astronic watches.
Awesome, guys. Well, I wish all of you new founders all the best, and don't give up, and insist your dream. And see, somebody's coming. It's my daughter. Yeah, say hi. Yeah, she's watching it. Okay, now you can go. So yeah, so you're doing this. You're showing a good story to your kids, and this is something I encourage you not to be afraid or frustrated. And it's not easy. It's not a guaranteed success. And but do your best and work with the great people. So good luck.
Thanks, Kristopher. Ciao, man. Have a great one.
Yeah, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.